Hello and a very good afternoon to all of you present here. We are delighted to have you all on our webinar, Careers in the Service Industry, Hospitality and Tourism. We from ABP Education Admission Fair would like to welcome our panelists. I would like to start with a brief round of introduction of all our esteemed panelists. Today we have with us Mr. Kumar Shobhan, who is the General Manager of Hyatt Regency, Kolkata. Mr. Shobhan has spent more than 20 years in the hospitality industry in a number of remarkable roles, from food and beverage to rooms and spa and catering. His last assignment was as a pre-opening general manager of Hyatt Regency Lucknow. As an analytical thinker, Mr. Shobhan knows how to lead and inspire his team. Having worked in the industry in different positions for over the years, he has grasped a notable hold over the nuances of hospitality sector. He also possesses the knack of managing, negotiating, forecasting and revenue management, crisis management, among various other services. Welcome you, sir. After this, I would like to welcome Dr. Preetam Pal. Dr. Pal is the CEO of Swatch and Group Director of Regional College of Management for 4 decades. And he's a PhD with over 25 years of experience, and his algorithm and clouds carry global usage and patents. Welcome you, sir. Next on our esteemed panel is Mr. Devjit Datta. Mr. Datta is the founder and CEO of Impression Tourism Services, a responsible destination management company for East and South Asia, offering innovative travel ideas crafted by local experts across East and Northeast India, along with sub-Himalayan eastern neighbors of Bhutan and Bangladesh. A well-known tourism industry expert and orator, Mr. Datta is associated with skill development and community tourism in Bengal and represents IATO and ADTOI as state chairman, along with some other trade bodies in the region. Very warm welcome to you, sir, as well. Last on our panel is Mrs. Vidisha Banerjee, Mrs. Vidisha Sarkar, my bad, who is the group director of the renowned SBIHM. Mrs. Sarkar is an MBA in HR and comes with over 20 plus years of experience in different organizations. We are really delighted to have all of you on board. We look forward to a really insightful session. Before, I would like to start with Dr. Pal. Dr. Pal, once again, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
We've had you in a previous session as well. I would like to start with you and ask you a question on the course that you have in your institute on Masters in Tourism Administration. Would you like to tell us something about the course, along with, what would be your advice to students who want to pursue a course in tourism and hospitality management, and what would you want to say on those lines?
Thank you for having me here. Regional College of Management is a 4-decade-old enterprise who has been into the vision of education for a pretty long time. Now, MATA is a course. We were one of the first people in India to have introduced this course through Utkal University in 1997. And it was during that time that travel and tourism industry had started booming in a real factor. Okay. So it's a progressive course, as RCM is and as our nature of education is. Okay, it's, innovation and progression is something which is part of the DNA of the establishment of RCM Group of Institutes. The MATA course has evolved across a period of more than 2.5 decades now, and throughout this evolution, with every semester and every batch, as rest of our esteemed speakers are here would agree to me, that it is an industry which is extremely dynamic. It is an industry which sells the idea of freedom, sells the idea of nature, sells the basic idea of how human life cycle allows you to travel. Travel and tourism is something which people are in primary is their intention whenever they have the ability of doing so. Our college earlier we used to do a standard MATA in which aviation was one of the biggest focus areas for almost 2 decades. Because the aviation sector was where the carriers for most of them were there for a MATA student who passed out from here. But for the last 3 years, what we have been focusing on is we have kept MATA as the primary degree, in which you basically the course really tells you about the tourism industry, the data science behind it, the analytics behind it, the methodologies, operations, SOPs, and stuff like that. But what it does towards the last semester is, okay, we train them based on the direction they want to go in tourism. So there are a lot of people, okay, who want to stick to aviation. There are a lot of people who are going to adventure tourism. There are a lot of people who are going into virtual entrepreneurship in the tourism department. So based on that, the industry has opened up a lot because of the use of technology, because of the use of the way the industry has been moving, the way the countries have been promoting tourism, which has become a major income for most governments in the world. So we have amended and we have progressed in a manner in which we have created about 4 specializations within the MATA course, in which people can choose during the last semesters based on what kind of line and what kind of position they want as a career as far as the tourism is concerned. So that in a nutshell is the course that we are offering here at RC.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to move to Mrs. Bidisha now. Mrs. Bidisha, you are the group director of the renowned SBIHM. And you would be dealing with student queries on a daily basis about what would be the career opportunities in the service industry as well, right? So would you like to walk us through what queries do students come up with, and how would you guide an aspiring student as to what the career opportunities in the hospitality sector?
See, the thing is that, thank you, Shivangi, first of all. Actually, I used to get so many questions, so many queries each and every day, that's true. And nowadays I'm getting a lot of questions like whether that if I'll go for tourism or if I'll go for hotel, whether in coming future, in coming 2 or 3 years, I'm going to get a good job or not, whether I'll be placed in a good position or in a good company or not. These are very much common questions nowadays. Basically, especially in this year, I'm getting this kind of questions. So anyhow, I always I offered. We do have few courses like hotel, hospitality, culinary science. We do have. So this year, I am getting much more queries about the hospitality management course. This is true as because along with the hospitality, definitely we are providing other courses. But hospitality, they are asking for hospitality as because that hospitality is a poses a vast area. Like student in the hospitality, they are doing hospitality. They can look beyond the hotel industry to aviation, retail, banking, and the cruise line. That industry and hospital also, they are getting good career opportunities. So I'm getting this kind of queries and questions nowadays. So Shivangi, it's they are very much interested for hospitality courses nowadays.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your opening remark. Next, I would like to move to Mr. Shobhan. Mr. Shobhan, my question to you would be, how would you say that the hospitality sector has been affected by COVID to start with, and especially the young talent, right? Today, if a student wants to pursue hospitality, the biggest question that comes to mind is that COVID is impacting the hospitality sector. So what would your opinion be on what the effect of COVID is on the hospitality sector, and how has it been affecting students' decisions?
All right. Thank you so much, Shivangi, and good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you so much to ABP to bring us in to guide the young generation to move ahead in their career of choice. Yes, we are going through a bad phase, but as I mentioned, and I put phase word in bold and italic, it is a phase, and phase doesn't last long. We have seen after the first wave, the tourism started booming up. We started doing a lot of business, of course, because of certain people not following the restrictions. We had to lock down again, and then we opened the tourism again. We did good revenues, good footfalls which were coming in. So this is just a phase, it will pass through. You don't have to worry about it, that whether hospitality will do well in future or not. It will surely do well, and that's with a lot of confidence which we are saying. And when I say hospitality, it is about the service industry, and Devjit Da and Dr. Paul and Mrs. Sarkar would agree to my statement that in today's time, everyone wants to venture out. Everyone wants to get that service. Everyone wants to get pampered. and they want to feel special. And when they want to feel special, where do they go? They either go for a destination which is of their liking on a holiday, or they travel because of the corporate reasons, but they will travel. They will travel to every other place. As I was mentioning last week, I was traveling to Tirupati Balaji, and the flight was going full from Calcutta to Chennai and Chennai to Calcutta. So it is a good sign that tourism and hospitality business is coming back to where we want it. It will take some time. I'm not saying that we are at the same levels of what we used to be in 2019, but we hope that by 2022, end of 2022, we should be back and standing tall and with a high head in the future. Now, for the young students or for the people who are trying to choose between a hospitality and any other industry, let me be very honest. Every industry now is a service industry. But what hospitality does is that they train you in a way that you become master of everything. You can be put into retail, you can be put into aviation, you can be put into lifestyle brand, you can be part of the hotel. In hotel also, there are so many options for people to join in. It is no more a typical housekeeping or food and beverage service or front office or culinary. I have new team members, young team members, freshers who are joining in sales and marketing, in revenue department, in finance department, in materials department. So this industry as such brings a lot of, if I may use the word, being street smart. This is what this industry gets you ready for. And this is what we look forward to for our new generation. Because how long we will work? We need new talents, new people to come in. People will not stop traveling. People will not stop eating out. I'm sure some of you guys who are listening to this or watching this have ordered a coffee or are sitting in a Starbucks or some other place to or enjoying or waiting for the weekend dinner to come in from some other some restaurant. So we are all over the place. So you don't have to worry. You just have to hold it strong for some time, and we will bounce back for sure. So that's something which I wanted to encourage everyone to join this industry as fast as possible and move forward with a lot of enthusiasm. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, following up on this, I would like to ask you, what was your journey as a student like? And
Okay.
like, what would be the one thing that motivated you to take up hospitality as a career option and reach the rank that you are at today? So that would be like a motivating factor for all the students, I guess.
So it's a long journey, actually. 22 years back, like every other parent, my parent were a little different, not I would say completely different. They wanted me to not join either a medical course or an engineering course, because that time it was either a medical or engineer or you become a lawyer. The three things were there. And Devjit Da is smiling here, I can see that. But that was the only three occupation. My dad is a doctor, my brother is an engineer, and I chose to go for a different field. So I did give my medical exam, but somehow it was not very interesting for me. I like challenges, and when I gave my hotel management exam, I was selected in IHM Goa. So first thing I said, wow, Goa, I should be enjoying myself when I reach there. And that's what I did. I did a lot of practical trainings there, a lot of in hospitality industry. Yes, there is theory, but it is all about practical work. Once I finished the college, I got 3 offers. One as in the renowned McDonald's. The other one was in another QSR, and third one was a waiter with Hyatt in Hyatt Regency Delhi. And the other 2 positions were like management trainee. So after 1 year, you become an assistant manager. The manager tag comes on board. But I chose to take this field of being in hotels, and nothing against any of the QSR, but I chose my career path working for the hotels. grew up the ranks, a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties. But one thing I keep telling my team as well is that you have to define your timelines. You have to define your goals and then fix timelines for that. I said, I don't want to spend more than 2 years in one position. And I want to put my foot very strong in a proper cement that, you know, nobody can come and shake me up on that particular position or that particular task. Yeah, so with the company for quite some time, I traveled the world. I worked in different Hyatt hotels in India and outside India. Did leave Hyatt for some time, but then came back to Hyatt because, you know, this is where I belong. That's what I say every time. A lot of challenges, a lot of learnings. What the hospitality which I saw when I joined the company or when I started my career to hospitality now is completely different. You know, what we used to learn that time was a left-hand side service to right-hand side service to, you know, you cannot serve from front and you have to put your hand in front of your stomach with a serviette on your hand, one hand at the back. I mean, in today's time, if I ask you, Shivangi, will you go to a restaurant which is so stiff like this? Maybe not, you know, and like Dr. Pal is having a coffee right now sitting in his office. Nobody thought of having coffee in the office, you know, or going to a Starbucks to have such a casual service. But it is encouraging to see things are moving. We have changed ourselves. We have changed ourselves of what the market is demanding. And being an hospitality professional, let me tell you, it's very strong in our company or in tourism industry that we are very agile. We change ourselves. We change ourselves with time. We change ourselves with the season. We are very seasonal. You can say it this way. So, you know, we're not stuck to one focus that, okay, we will follow this. So we change. It takes time to come to this level, but I'm proud that I had spent that time. I had learned long way. And this is what I guide my team member. It's little time taking, but it is very, very rewarding.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
I would
you.
like to move to Mr. Datta now. Mr. Datta is here with an entrepreneurial background. He has his own venture. So, sir, I would like to start with asking you a question. That what would be your advice, or what led you to start and your own venture in the tourism and hospitality sector, and what would be your advice to students to having their own startups, because startups is the new thing right now, right? So in the tourism and hospitality sector, what are the future prospects if someone wants to have their own venture? And yeah, thank you.
Good evening, and thank you, Shivangi. Thank you, ABP Education, for initiating this wonderful session. Yes, Shobhan, they will be traveling, and for sure they will be traveling. See what is happening. We had enough horror stories in last 15 months, so I'm not going to repeat those horror stories again. So I'm going to tell is actually, we are not going through a crisis. We are actually going through a transformation. And this transformation is perhaps the biggest ever in the history of tourism. And what is happening that we are emerging as a very new tourism, new business ideas, thoughts, and creative things. So it is perhaps the biggest opportunity for everybody. I'm sure whoever watching this is actually interested to join tourism, which is the biggest industry in the world and the biggest employing industry in the world. And believe me, it's one of the most interesting profession I've ever seen. I'm in tourism for almost last more than 22 years. So why this transformation? We had a transformation 15 years back due to the digital development. No, the way you used to do business, and it has changed the entire business model. People start thinking about what is going wrong, you know, because of this travel technology. The way you've been traveling before the travel technology and we have been traveling right now before the pandemic was absolutely different. And we adapted, and tourism developed in that way, on its own way. Now again, there is another transformation is going on. And you know, we really need to understand the changes and adopt to that. The entire industry is actually learning. We are, Shobhan is in the, you know, we are all in a learning process. You know, we are learning how to adopt to these changes. I think this is perhaps the biggest opportunity for all of us in the industry to review the mistakes that we have done in the past. We have a reset button to press and then restructure everything with new ideas and thoughts, and of course, revive in tourism. 4 positive impact, just to share with the students, 4 very significant positive impact of this pandemic on our industry. India emerging as the biggest market for India. Earlier people who used to travel across the border and explore new destination, they're actually finding destination within the country. So domestic tourism is going to be real big, because India is among the biggest source market across the world. And people who are actually exploring destinations, experiences beyond the border, they are looking at places around India. So the hospitality industry in India and the tourism, tour operators, everybody has got new opportunities and new markets to work on. Cities emerging as the primary market source for nearby destinations. So earlier, as a tour operator, we have been promoting 16 or 17 destinations all across this region and stay in Bengal. Right now, I do have more than 100 new destinations. So people are looking for such destinations, standalone properties, natural places, very quiet, remote, private. So, and people are driving to those destinations. And, the way, if you look at our lifestyle in last 15 months, everything changed. We earlier, going to office was something very important. Right now, going to office is not that important. We can actually still work. Earlier, this kind of seminar used to be in a hotel like Hyatt and in a conference room. And right now I'm sitting at my office and talking to all of you. So the way our lifestyle has absolutely changed. So along with the lifestyle, the demand is going to be changing. And the demand, the supply is going to be a very different supply. So you really need to understand. So if you are thinking that, if you are still uncertain about this industry, if you are still uncertain about your future in tourism, let me assure you one thing. It is definitely emerging as a very new type of tourism business. And I'm there in 20 years. Shovan is there almost, I think, the same duration. But we all are learning actually. And you are also equally having. So people who are already there in the business, they have some limitation, accepting new ideas, new thoughts. It takes a lot of time because of our age and experience. But people who are actually joining, freshers, it is far more easier for you to understand that and adopt to those things. So it is not always that you need to join somewhere and do a job. Of course, in tourism, your personal abilities and qualities are the most, what I believe is actually most important factors. And of course your experience working in the trade, that also matters. But above everything, your passion to travel, your passion to meet people every day, new people. I'm very fortunate. I know at least someone in every corner of this world, across the globe. I know so many people. So tourism has actually gave me the opportunity. Shovan must be like everybody here, you look, Vidisha and Dr. Pal, they will agree. We get opportunity to meet people every day, every moment. So with the transformation, we're having a very casual discussion before starting this entire conversation. And I was telling Shovan that, people are now looking for a very different type of, holidays. What is like that? That earlier the, determining factor was actually whether I'll get some, off from my office, or the, schools are, the schools are, allowing us to go or not. But right at this moment, we are actually not bothered about that. So the primary determining factor for anyone to decide on a holiday is actually changed. Now, you have an option to go to somewhere in a small village in Darjeeling, and, which offers you a very good internet connection and a very clean room and food, nice, hygienically cooked, decent food. And you can actually stay there for 3 months or maybe more than that. And you can walk from there, you can do your classes from there. So here comes the opportunity, and here comes the opportunity for entrepreneurship. Like a lot of people who actually left their job and started opening up this kind of homestays and small properties. And then market is very easily accessible to us in these days. Sustainability is of course the name of the game. I have told you that India emerging as the biggest market for India. And of course, nearby destination cities are evolving as the primary source market for nearby destination. Also, clinically fit travel is something which is very important, and that is very good for India. Like, we all learned, because we had to learn that, how to provide clinically fit services, because just to survive and to survive in the business. And the last and the most important, responsible travel is the future of tourism. So what is responsible travel? You can Google. I can take hours explaining responsible travel, but you really need to know what is responsible travel, because that is the future of tourism. So there are a lot of opportunities. You can join as a Incredible India tourist facilitator and be a naturalist, or you can buy cycles and do some cycling tours and offer some activities. So there are options like anything. You don't need to always go to a tour operator and do jobs, or join a hotel, but you can always do something out of the box. And in the days to come, believe me, people are looking for this kind of out of the box experiences. I know someone, Iftikhar, he is running a company called Calcutta Walks. He let people walking across the streets of Calcutta and telling stories, and me myself, I run a property in Sundarban, and I let people, I take them for a mud walk. Now, Dr. Pal, perhaps he is going to kill me if I, ask him to, would you be interested to go for a mud walk? No, but there are people who has never seen mud in their life. They would love to go for a mud walk. So opportunities are huge. And I have told you before, the biggest industry in the world and biggest employing industry in the world, and coming in a very new, it's a new, all new tourism. So congratulations if you have already decided. And I would definitely like to request you to all to kindly do consider and come here, and you're going to love this for sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. What you said is absolutely correct. Tourism has changed, right? The whole idea of tourism has changed. How we travel has changed. Going and working remotely, and all of that is happening, right? People are going away for months and months and staying in a nice villa in say Tirupati or wherever that be. So this is from the audience who is consuming that, right? What would your understanding, or what would your understanding be of someone who's in the service industry? What would a daily life of someone in the hospitality sector be like, given the new idea of tourism that has emerged lately?
See, right at this moment, if you don't have new ideas, you're out of this business. Absolutely. And everybody will agree answer. If you are not thinking out of the box, have you seen my tagline? Responsible destination management company offering handcrafted experiences across East and South Asia. Every single word is new, actually. And I had to create this thing, and every single word has got a meaning. So you have to see, I'll tell you one thing. In business, transformation is quite normal. Every business, there's a change in demand and supply. So you have to change your supply. There's a change in demand. You remember the company called Kodak?
Yes, sir.
No, we have used Kodak cameras. Now you have not even seen Kodak cameras. Kodak is out of this photography business. You know why? They actually never realized that market is changing. Think about a company called Canon. Canon still #1. I know I have a Canon camera which I used to use when I was a kid. Now I have a Canon camera which is quite new, and this is very market friendly. So what Canon did actually, they continuously monitored, did their study and research, still doing the study and research, and emerging with new products for the market, which actually can supply to the demand in the market. You remember a company called BlackBerry?
Yes.
How trendy app, Shovan? I have a BlackBerry, and now I really don't remember what is BlackBerry. So now what is there? Android phone. It was the, poor man's Apple phone, but they are doing a bigger business. So all this example I'm giving is actually, it's all survival of the fittest. And to survive in the business, you have to be innovative. You have to think out of the box, and you have to create new ideas, new experiences. A few years back, I realized they are only handling agents and doing sightseeing tour. And right now I offer Confluence of Culture walk tour, Confluence of Culture storytelling tour. Do you have any idea why there are so many potatoes in the biryani that we serve in Calcutta? There's a story behind that. You know, the last king of Awadh, Wazid Ali Shah, I'm taking this opportunity to tell you, when he was, on his exile to transferred to Bengal, he was going through some financial crisis. Just to compensate the meat, he started using potatoes. And that was the story behind the having potatoes in the biryani in Calcutta. Now, this is a story. I can keep on telling stories. And I tell these stories to people traveling to Calcutta. I keep on telling this story to people traveling to Calcutta and they get amazed. So I offer them a plate of biryani and then tell them the story of biryani. So there are stories after stories after stories after stories. So if I keep on selling, just a city tour, Victoria Memorial, St. Paul's Cathedral, this and that, forget it. Those days are gone. People are not looking for those anymore. People are looking for stories. So what I did, I've started reading, so this is a constant process. See this book? I ordered 2 days back. This is Hooghly. It's on Hooghly. Have you heard about the Little Europe in Bengal? Very close by. All those colonial establishment next to River Ganges? No, I'm sorry. I think most of them, you're confused. Yes, what is Little Europe in Bengal? Now you're interested. When I'm going to end this session, Shobhan is going to call me. Devjit, what is Little Europe in Bengal? So that is it. You have to be in a process of constant of study, understanding, learning, that is how it works actually. Every business works. And tourism, of course, we are handling a product which is intangible. I can show you a mobile phone, but I can show you the kati rolls and the story behind the kati rolls. So that is it. The creativity, thinking beyond the box is the most important thing in any business. Forget about tourism. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was quite an insightful answer. And also the story of how we constantly need to evolve and keep changing.
Yes.
I will direct my next question to Dr. Pal, stemming from the whole discussion that we had so far. As we are discussing the constant need of change, and so, sir, you would agree that hospitality industry has also changed. Now, if I'm a student who wants to pursue hospitality, one of the things that comes to my mind is how economically sustainable it is as a career option, right? If I'm studying, I'm investing money, I would at the end of the day, I would want to take a good amount of money home. So what would your insights be in terms of hospitality as an economically sustainable career option?
Well, that's a question across almost every industry vertical.
Yes.
But anybody who is looking at tourism, okay, now entrepreneurship is normally either is entrepreneurship or it is enterprising manpower that any industry needs. May it be healthcare, may it be hospitality, or may it be IT or education. All the industries, they need that kind of people. Now, change is the most consistent thing in the world. Now everybody agrees to this. Okay. But acceptance of change is definitely always a challenge. Okay, it's always a challenge to get people to change. Like Shobhan mentioned, the highest acceptability of change is in this industry. Why? Because the change is forced through social transformation. It is normally being a very, very powerful service industry and extremely connected to people emotion, people thinking. Okay, free will. Okay, so it has got a huge connection in which the social thinking and the free will drives the hospitality industry. You would be amazed, and I'm sure Devjit and Shobhan would agree to this with me. Hospitality is one of the best paying industries. It is the best paying industry in the world. Trust me when I say that the top guys in this industry would get much better than a CEO in an IT industry. You'd be really amazed. Most of the people make much more than a software engineer. Much more. Entrepreneurs can boom just out of the blue into this thing, just with small ideas which take care of human needs, of free will needs. Now, understand the carriers of money. I know people. I have a few friends of mine who have chosen the same line. They have the consistency in this thing is people have been there with ITC for 25 years, 30 years, and consistent growth. Why? 2-3 things why it is one of the safest industries you can actually be. Number one, as you know, very interesting. I'm actually, every time I'm looking at Devjit, I'm thinking about the aloo in the biryani. Okay, seriously. And then he reminded me about kathi rolls. Okay, so I really miss that from Calcutta. They're the best you have. Okay, so I am a biker myself. We belong to a bike gang, which recently happened about almost 10-15 years back. Devjit will agree to this. There is a huge amount of biking movement happening in the country. There's a huge amount of, these are youngsters. I and Shovan and rest of us would all agree to this, that, father is to take us to a summer vacation once in 2 years. Okay. School is to take us to a picnic to the nearest place, Puri, Konar, Khandagiri, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And that one vacation would have about 2 albums of photographs on the old Kodak cameras. Okay. Which would be there for the next 3 years to see कि tere ko leke gaya tha main, hai na? So it is there framed in the house, kept that we family had gone to Taj and we had gone to X place and Y place. But now what has happened is the complete industry cycle has changed, right? So there are young people as young as 16 years old, 18 years old, up, the parents of this generation, they are much more open. The children are much more rebellious. We used to think twice before answering back to our father and saying, no, I don't agree with you. Okay, before saying that, you will be thinking, holy shit, my 500 rupees pocket money is going out of the window if I say anything now. Okay, but today these children are rebellious. So I know people who are 17, 18 years old. They take their bikes, drive all the way to Guwahati from Bhubaneswar. There are people who do complete NH5. NH5 is a very famous route for cars and bikes. It starts from Calcutta, lands up all the way down south, Chennai down, Nellore, Chennai. So they do that route. With so much more amount of people who are traveling, with so much younger masses who are traveling. Now, corporate people, so I have, let's say, a tour. Now, corporate people travel like, we are like what? Table tennis balls. So people who are, they are right across, explorers, or their corporates who travel, jump like table tennis balls across, 4 cities, 5 cities. But at that end of the day, they will always land up and take 2 days off. So the amount of traveling in corporate is also pretty high. Similarly, you have different events which are having. Nobody is having a marriage in the local town anymore. Everybody is having a destination wedding or in a different location. People are getting married across the country. So earlier it was Odisha and Odisha, or it was a Bengali getting married to a Bengali. Now it is Bengali to a Rajasthani. It's all right across. So having said that, the career option, the destinations, the investment that this industry stalwarts have in the system, okay, that investment will ensure always. So any property is a few 100 crores. Okay, so this investment ensures, this asset will ensure that there is a fantastic career which will always sustain. The need for tourism can never go away. So it is much more safer to choose this line, okay, than to actually go out, okay, and into any other service. Those are much more riskier. This is much more consistent. That's my response.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to move to Mrs. Sarkar here. Given this whole discussion of how hospitality and tourism as a sector are very sustainable, but we also hear this quite often. Mr. Shobhan can also comment later that the life of a hotelier is extremely difficult. It is really demanding. It is not your usual 9 to 5, right? So in this case, what do you think as a student would be a motivating factor for you to go ahead and take this challenging job and not settling for the regular 9 to 5?
See, the thing is that I heard all the things. Like my students, we are basically a factory. We are producing students for these industries like tourism industry, hotel industry, other hospitality or service industries. So what we insist students to learn, like have patience to learn the change or the other technical, upliftment. If a student can learn this well, so definitely that student can sustain. And definitely he will be a part of the entire growth. So how we will produce that this kind of students? Uh, Basically, we make student industry ready with the help of holistic training. How we used to provide this kind of training? The mandatory, we do have a mandatory, that industrial training. I know my students are also going to Mr. Shobhan's hotels for the industrial training, and I would like to thank him to take my student for industrial training. So that is a part of which helps strike a balance between theoretical and practical learning basis. Before IT, we used to tag them for industrial visits where they used to learn how peoples are working, where they could learn about different kind of industry. We used to arrange seminars like you are arranging seminars today. So we also used to arrange seminars on personality development or the customer satisfaction or like that. Workshops we used to arrange other professionalism, how they will inculcate their professionalism, how they will continue like this. So we arrange all those things to produce a particular we used to produce basically a manpower. And hospitality is a sector where a student can look for hotel industry or aviation or retail or banking or cruise line. So they can adjust themselves in tourism industry. They can adjust themselves in hotel industry. They can adjust in themselves in a hospital or in other sectors. We used to produce that kind of student. So after completion of the hospitality, they may go to Mr. Datta's office, they may go to Mr. Shobhan's office so that they could get a good job and they can uplift their career. So these are the things, if they will introduce much more technical, environment, though my students will learn more, definitely they will adjust themselves according to the career opportunities they are getting.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sarkar. Mr. Shobhan, would you like to add to this? How difficult is the life of a hotelier and what keeps you motivated to stick to the job?
It's very easy, very simple. You can see I'm sitting on a Friday afternoon having a chat with so many people around. It is difficult, and which life is not difficult? Tell me. There is no job in today's time which is 9 to 5. Gone are those days. You talk to a banker, you talk to a IT guy, you talk to a person working in a factory, in an office, even government offices. Nobody works for 9 to 5 anymore now. It is difficult. Where we come into, I would say, a little bit challenging is that when you deal with a human, to understand what the person wants, or the, I would put it this way, anticipating somebody else's needs and delivering it to the expectation is sometimes challenging. Every job takes some time to understand, but when you start, and what Devjita said that, it is all about passion. When you're passionate about a work, you can let me work for 18 hours, 19 hours, 20 hours, it doesn't matter, So it is difficult like any other job. It is just a little bit demanding because you don't get time to sit down and relax. Because if you're lucky, you will be busy with a lot of work. You will learn while you do mistakes, because we deal with humans. We tend to do mistakes. It becomes a little difficult at times where, a guest is upset on you, or you have a bad day in the morning, but that happens in every other industry as well. So forget that part of it, that, how difficult is it to live a life of a hotelier? It is not.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I guess we have just enough time to begin the question and answer session. There are a lot of questions pouring in. A lot of them are regarding placements, surprisingly. So I would leave it to the panel, whoever wants to answer it. How is the placement opportunity in tourism and hotel industry in COVID times? So would you like to start?
Yeah, so we're still hiring people. And in fact, today only I hired 3 freshers from the college. So the hiring is a regular process. It's a continuous process. People leave, people join some other hotel company, or they start becoming an entrepreneur, like Devjit Das said, and Dr. Pal said. So we will always have vacancies, and it is evident all across the world. Placements are on. Yes, it is not at that level what it used to be in 2019. So we are very conscious right now on the placement, but I'm confident that by the 2022, mid of 2022, we'll be in full force again.
Dr. Pal, thank you so much, sir. Dr. Pal, would you like to add to it in terms
Yeah.
of in your course, how well are students placed, or what is it like? If you would want to comment.
See, today the industry is, the courses right across the country are similar, exposures are almost similar. Okay, so everybody has a particular plus, but the industry has always been hiring. We never had a problem for placement right across in the last 2.5 decades. Okay, why? Because it's an ever-growing industry, and Devjit, Shobhan, and Mrs. Saka would agree to saying this, that the kind of investment that has the equity investment, the capital that is invested in the tourism industry by a lot of the entrepreneurs. Okay, it is driven by people at the end of the day. When you can say that business is bad, but you still need people to run your maintenance, to run your operations, to run your hiring, finance, everything. Maybe yes, as very rightfully Shobhan said that you would not have the space in which you are hiring is this thing. But if you really compare, so we also have management courses, right? PhD and MBA and MCA. If I really compare across the scale, we had a tougher time finding out placements for MBA. And there was a compromise as far as the packages that they used to get. So earlier it was a 12, 16, 18 kind of a negotiation. It has gone down all the way till 8 and 6. But as far as tourism industry is concerned, yes, the pace has gone down, but the demand is still there, and they have not compromised as far as the salaries are concerned. The tourism industry, if they were on a 6 lakh package or a 4 lakh package, they're still sustaining that part of the, yes, numbers have gone down, but that happens with every industry. Look at IT. I think technology and other industries, there's more than 1 crore of jobs which have been lost. But yes, hiring is still on, not at that pace.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I would like to address the next question to Mr. Datta. Mr. Datta, what are some new methods, technologies in today's hospitality industry that people need to keep up with as a student?
I have mentioned during my discussion that sustainability would be the name of the game, and there are 4 different types of sustainability the industry we are actually considering. Number 1, you have to be ecologically sustainable. So you have to be concerned about the ecological impact and environmental impact of tourism, because there would be a market segment, and there is a market segment which actually very concerned about the ecological impact of tourism. Second thing is that you have to be financially sustainable. So after this digital development, people started focusing on quantitative business rather than looking at quality, and that actually let you do business without any sustainable reserve to fight this kind of crisis. And third is actually digitally sustainable. And today's date, if you don't understand travel technology, you're actually out of the business. So market is just few feet away, but perhaps you know how to get into that market. So my today's generation are much more tech savvy than what it used to be. But I really advise everybody that you really need to understand the travel technology part. That is very much important. Social media marketing. In fact, you will be surprised to know we use Facebook to generate business. I'll just give an example. Once you browse in Facebook, you always see some videos are played and some products being displayed. Those are called remarketing. Based on your browsing history, there is an algorithm, and then in backend they automatically show things that you would like to see or things you'd like to buy. So this is the marketing, digital marketing is absolutely a very interesting subject. And the maximum, implementation of digital marketing is in our trade, tourism. So that is somehow very important, that you need to be digitally fit. That's what I say. You need to be digitally fit to sustain in the business. Two more important, factors, I think, which is very important to be successful in this industry. Number one is that you need to have a passion to serve, the attitude to serve. I think everyone will agree. Without that attitude to serve, you will not be able to do much in this trade. So you the person needs to be outgoing, should have some leadership abilities. Those are all natural abilities. No institute can teach you about how to be a leader, that's natural. So people who are with those, natural abilities are actually preferred in this industry. And there are some techniques and skills like travel technology who really need to learn, understand, and adopt to be successful in this industry. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Like a really well structured answer. My next question is, anyone in the panel can answer. Someone asks that I want to study abroad. What is the hospitality scene abroad compared to India in the recent times?
I will take that. You'll be lucky if you get a visa to go and study abroad right now. India is no lesser than what you get taught in any of the Western countries. In fact, we have a slogan which is called as Atithi Devo Bhava. And Devjitda would understand this very well, that the entire world is taking our hospitality style and incorporating them into their system. I'm not discouraging the person who has asked this question. You're more than welcome to go out. If you ask me whether it will help you in placement at a later stage, maybe not, because when we hire people, we look at the skills. We definitely look at where you have done your education from, but it is more about attitude, the more about passion. If you have learned 50% of what hospitality is, rest 50% is the responsibility of the hotel or any travel company to teach you, to guide you, to mold you into the right way. So it's completely your call. If you have a lot of money, why don't you go ahead and apply for the courses outside India?
And I would like to add here, see, if you really want to be successful in tourism or hospitality, 25% is your academic qualification, 25% is your natural abilities or qualities, 50% is absolutely your experience or your exposure. Which one is the best destination as on date, which offers the diversity like anything? It's of course India. In India, the kind of diversity in terms of product, in terms of culture, in terms of natural wonders, you don't get anywhere else in the world. So the best, like specifically in a profession like tourism and hospitality, the best place to learn is not on paper, but at the workshop itself. So I think that is something, it's very important to understand.
True, sir. Sir, but would you say that, again, like both of you can answer this, if you were to hire, the 50% that you said depends on getting that experience, but to get that experience, in order to get that experience, wouldn't you see which institute, which college, how much of a difference would that make, right? Like, I could study from the best college, obviously that would make a difference, right? Or if I study abroad, does that make a big change in your decision making to hire people, or no?
I have a very specific, point here to highlight. I always tell, freshers, students, you have complete, masters in tourism, bachelor's in tourism, and whatsoever. But consider next 3 years as a part of your education process. And I think same thing apply in a hotel industry. So your internship is very important. So normally what happens, and that this is very, I'm very specific about this. I have seen this, lot of students, once they completed, they expect something like a boom. I finish and I just start like a king. It never happens like that. If you have done 3 years graduation in tourism, and then the next 3 years, it is still is a part of your education. And that is exactly geo experience, how you gain experience working. Without that, nothing happens. So if you just consider the first phase of your employment as a part of your education process, and you always should have that in mind. Otherwise, you will have problem in future. So, and this is very important. And if you complete that remaining 3 years, in a better way, you will definitely be the number one in the trade, I'm sure.
I will take an example here, and I'm sure a lot of people have watched this Netflix series called as Suits.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Right?
absolutely.
The gentleman did not even go to Harvard, and he was the best lawyer available in the country that time. So yeah, it makes a lot of difference on what college do you study in. But the college can teach you a particular task or a particular theory, but at the end of the day, it is about you. We have toppers coming in from the best colleges, and they are just there because they don't have any passion towards that work.
Yes, absolutely.
So build that passion. I think everything will fall in place.
Thank you so much, sir. So my last question stemming from what Mr. Datta was saying is as well, Ms. Vidisha, Dr. Pal, if you want to answer, what are the internship opportunities, starting from, like there's someone who's asking that she's confused as to what would be the internship opportunities once they start like pursuing hotel management as a degree course.
So once you are into the course, going to about, let's say, to the mid of your second semesters or to the end of the first year. So internship is defined as per to your. So there is a lot of internal horizontals within the industry itself. So a lot of people going for operations, like Shogun had mentioned that there are a lot of different aspects in this industry in which people look at. So based on the interest and based on the judgment that is there, okay, we get interns placed into real-time this thing for about 3 months. Okay. And then after that, again, there's a gap of 3 months. And again, your final semesters, almost for 4 to 4.5 months, is always on site on that space. So there are some people who get into adventure tourism. A lot of we have seen a lot of people who get into digital marketing and e-commerce, this thing in the tourism industry. A lot of people going for aviation. So we have tie-up with Vistara, Indigo, other airline providers. Private planes have a huge industry right now. A lot of people in the country have their own, private planes and private jets which are there. So there's a lot of opportunity there also where we do a lot of internships because they look out for interns more.
Vidisha, would you like to add something?
Yes, sir. We used to place students for internship to learn more, but they are learning in the class as a practical or theoretical. They are getting the practical knowledge out of that industrial training. So industrial training, definitely it's really important. Suppose my students went for industrial training in Hyatt, so they're learning the best thing from the Hyatt. So if they want to place themselves in either Hyatt or JW Marriott or the Novotel, so that experience will help them out to get a good job, a good placement. So definitely industrial training is required for each and every student, each and every course,
True.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of the webinar. I would like to thank both our webinar partners, RCM and IIHM, for being a part of the webinar. Thank you so much once again, all of you, for being a part of the session.